you could be making these mistakes. My intention is to help you to not repeat these mistakes over. When I was doing my bachelor's, I told you that I didn't get a chance to speak, so I didn't speak for 3 years. I was struggling to frame sentences. Do you know that? Even the daily conversations, I was not confident to engage in group discussions. I felt that I was losing my English. It's not enough that you speak. Okay. What if you're making the same mistake again and again? Suppose it is tenses. Okay. Hello, welcome to another video on my channel. This is Rini Rose Matthew. You can always find more details about the channel and me in the channel description. Don't get carried away by the trend that we have today. The first point is many of you are struggling with the environment. Many learners come and tell me that I haven't gone to English medium schools. I don't have the environment. Now, speaking about the environment, I have an experience to share with you, and from this I will give you a guideline. So I'll be sharing almost 3 to 4 guidelines. Please stay till the end of the video. You could be making these mistakes. My intention is to help you to not repeat these mistakes over and over again. Because some of you say that I've been working for a very long time, still there is no improvement. Why? The first point, speaking environment. Now, when I was doing my BA, that is Bachelor of Arts in English Literature, you know that it's a 3-year course. So in the Department of English in my college, most of the students and professors spoke in the regional language. It's not that they didn't know English. Of course, they knew English, and English professors will definitely have standard English. But they chose not to speak in English except in classes, except during lectures. The medium of instruction was not English in the college. So they used to always speak in the regional language, even in the Department of English. So what I'm trying to tell you is most of the engineering colleges, most of the professional colleges, even IT companies want you to develop your communication skills in English, but the environment is not there. Even in English medium schools, I have seen teachers using the regional language, the local language. So when I was doing my bachelor's, I told you that I didn't get a chance to speak, so I didn't speak for 3 years. To be very frank, I didn't take the initiative to even read. Somehow I felt that for 3 years, I didn't have much connection with the language. I was into singing, I was more into dance and other extracurricular activities. But of course, I passed the course with good grade and good marks, but that's not enough. Examination alone is not enough, right? So I lost touch because I didn't read much. I didn't speak to a few people at least who spoke in English. I didn't do that. Also, I didn't listen to English much. So in those days, we didn't have podcasts or YouTube videos as we have today. But still, I don't think I would have cared to do that. So what happened was, when I joined my post-graduation, of course, you all would be knowing that post-graduation of a particular course is definitely difficult, and you will have very few students in the class. So in English literature classes, we usually have maybe 20 to 24 students or hardly 18, because that's how it is structured. And sometimes we have to take seminars. We will have to teach our classmates in front of the professor. It's not that it's always teacher driven. So after these 3 years of relaxation and almost enjoying the course through music, through dance, except reading and speaking, I enrolled for post-graduation, and that was in Chennai. And as I told you, these were the requirements. I was struggling to frame sentences. Do you know that? Even the daily conversations, I was not confident to speak in the English language. I was not confident to engage in group discussions, but I lost the touch. So what I'm trying to tell you, the flow was not there. So what happens when you don't have the flow? You are the first one to realize that, and then you start shrinking. You don't participate in anything. You stay away. I used to stay at the corner of the class. Because of my carelessness, because I didn't keep in touch with the language, at least through reading and listening, I faced this problem. And after the first month, I put in a lot of work. So during my MA, that is post-graduation, and also during my Master of Philosophy in English Literature, I put in so much of work that I wanted to get the desired output. It's not enough that you do examinations well, but you have research, you have presentations, and things like that. So, what I'm trying to tell you is sometimes the speaking environment will not be favorable. Even today, I don't have the speaking environment. Here, people speak in the regional language. And that can be expected in a country like India. Of course, one good thing is many people like learning English. Many people like reading English. You have to stay in touch with the language through listening, reading, and if you get a chance to speak to someone, speak at least for 5 minutes every day or to yourself. And of course, the last part is writing. Writing is very, very important, but let's keep writing apart. Let's keep it away for some time. But these three parts are very, very important. So, the second point is speaking platforms. So, first is creating an environment. Create an environment, be in touch with the language. So, you may ask me, ma'am, I may not know if I'm making a mistake if I'm going to speak to myself. If I speak in front of the mirror, how do I know if I'm making a mistake? See, when you're speaking, you're also reading and listening. It's not just speaking, blah, blah, blah. You're not just going like that. You will be reading, you will be listening, and then it is a kind of cycle. Your instinct, your some kind of inner energy will tell you that this sentence is wrong for some purpose. You may not know the purpose. So I'm coming to the last point. So the solution for the first part is going to be given in the last point. So first one was to create a small speaking environment. Let me tell you something. Even when I was in my college, during my school days and all, I have seen snobbish classmates. There were gold medalists. There were people who were very smart in the language. I told you there was a time when I couldn't understand English. They never want to share their ideas. Some of them are so generous, they will share their ideas, but some of them really don't want others to develop. You will come across such people, and that's okay. It's part of life. But why don't you get in touch with people who want to collaborate and communicate and want to help you out? Okay, so it's a give and take policy. The second point is very important, the speaking platforms. Today we have access to speaking platforms, apps, lot of things. We can get in touch with a lot of people. And this is YouTube. You have a lot of people speaking in the English language. It's not enough that you speak, okay, in the English language to develop your fluency. You need to do much more. See, when you take part in speaking practice sessions, you have an expert in front of you, or at least a person who is better than you in English, who has agreed to correct you. Am I right or not? Now, when it's a speaking platform, most of the platforms encourage conversation. So they will correct you. They will listen to you. They'll be very helpful. The next point is follow-up. You may not get to see the same person in the next session. That's also fine. It's okay to just have a conversation. What if you're making the same mistake again and again? Suppose it is tenses. Okay, you're not sure about the past tense and the present tense. You make the mistake, your tutor corrects you. You make the mistake again for the third time, your tutor corrects you. Or the person who is better than you. It could be a friend also, not just tutor. In the fourth session also, you make the same mistake. Okay, it's not intentionally done. You know that you have made a mistake after making the mistake. I'm not telling that you shouldn't be making any mistake while speaking in English, but sometimes habitual mistakes never fade, it is always with you. I've also experienced this. So a follow-up is important. Follow-up doesn't mean just assessments and assignments. More than that, you need to have a structure. Why are you going wrong? You need to progress to the next level, right? You're speaking. When you're speaking, you get the confidence. I agree with that. Okay. Also, you will feel that you have developed a flow. Some people come for sessions even without having the flow. Speaking will help them. The next step is, how do I progress? Because I have spoken for 2 months, but still I feel I'm making the same mistake. How do I progress to the next level? You have to simultaneously listen and read. The next question is, how do I listen? How do I read? For that, I think you require a module, a structure. You need somebody to help you with that. Okay, so when you feel, for some learners, I'm not taking the case of everyone because some of them are very, very, very meticulous and disciplined, where they observe and then they correct their mistakes. Some of them are so focused. That doesn't mean others are not focused, but some of them require external help, where you need to know, how do I progress? I've spoken for 4 to 5 months. The next is listening and speaking and reading. How do I take these three parts hand in hand? So first you have to read at least 2 pages, listen to something that you like, and then come and speak. Again, go back, listen, read, speak. It doesn't mean you shouldn't write. If you want, you can write, because a lot of people are writing. But at least these three first steps. How do I do it simultaneously is the question. And for that, you require help. It's okay if you read just 2 pages. I always tell my learners. And then after that, you listen to something related to that topic on YouTube. It may not be directly connected. For example, if you read a recipe, okay, on the internet, of course, recipe will be short, you may have description, you understand certain things. Try to watch a YouTube video or some content related to cooking, not just the same recipe, something connected to that. Try to write a paragraph and then take some words from here and there and use it in your conversation with an expert. Okay, now this is just one idea. We do a lot of other activities during my training sessions. Training sessions are different from conversational videos. I extend these sessions. Now, this is something that you can also do if you don't want to join training sessions. So, speaking platforms always help with the consistency and the flow and the confidence, but that's not enough. You need to upgrade. The last point is for maybe intermediate and advanced learners. You feel that you're very confident, you have the flow. You can always check with an expert, a tutor, an authorized center who really goes into active learning methods. Now, speaking environment is there. Suppose you have created your speaking environment in your room, you have books, you have podcasts, you have everything, you're watching a lot of videos, and you know that you're working on your speaking skills. So how to do it? The next step, what should I do? Because I know this is my mistake. Suppose you don't know the mistake, of course you can find out from an expert, you can speak with an expert and get the problem. So identifying the problem is important. Now, after having identified the problem, sometimes you will be able to do it on your own, because many learners tell me, ma'am, I know my problem. Now, what did you do about the problem? Did you just allow it to rest? You have to test it out now. I will not allow it to rest. I have to test where I have reached. What is my stage? What is the next level? For that, I need the help of a tutor. The third is you have identified the problem and then you have checked with somebody, you have cross-checked. The third point is finding the right solution. Now, suppose the expert tells you, oh, your grammar is not right. The tense is not correct. Or maybe you're making a lot of spelling mistakes. How do I correct it? You cannot have the same method for everybody. Suppose somebody is facing a problem with prepositions, I cannot give the same method to everyone. In that problem itself, you will have sub-problems, or you will have different divisions of problem. We need to find out why you're making the mistake. Where do you exactly make the mistake? For example, some people will be thorough with all the prepositions except on and in. We cannot tell the learner that I'm going to check your preposition level or your connective level. Then the learner will be completely alert, fully conscious, and will be fully focused. We have to develop your spontaneity and fluency, and for that, even if you are in the highest emotion, you should be able to express well, you should be able to do justice to your speaking skills. And that is more about fluency, spontaneity, communication, presence of mind, and all that. It will come with practice, but all the 3 points that I've given you now is very, very important. I hope all these points help you, and thank you so much for staying with me. This is Renee Rose Matthew. Bye-bye.